Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me, I've realised that my setup is a little bit high. Or if I move it, I will probably make it out of line completely, so we'll just leave it the way it is. It's a little bit low there. Anyway, as I say, welcome to my craft room. Thanks for joining me. I can see a couple of people jumping on already. That's really great to see you. Just going to check my volume, make sure that's okay. Oh, yes, it is. That's fine. It is quite low, isn't it? You can actually see the floor. I'm going to move this up a little bit, so forgive the shakes. I'm going to move it up a tiny tad so you can't quite see as much of the floor. There you go. That's better. Much better. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing this double Z fold card, so you can see why it's called a double Z, because there's or Z, whichever way you prefer. So there's two letters of the alphabet there, two Z's. So that's why this one's called a double Z, is double Z fold card. And in this one I'm going to be featuring the wonderful, which has absolutely just captured my imagination, sweet strawberry bundle, which is this is available in our January to June mini catalogue for next year, so keep an eye out for that. That comes available to customers on the 5th of January, so I'll be using that one today. But in this original card I featured the Berry Blessings stamp set, which is a freebie with our celebration. So if you haven't got a little catalogue for the celebration, please give me a yell and I'll send you one through. But this beautiful stamp set, which actually complements the strawberries, and this paper, the paper I'm using today, are free giveaways generally are free, freebies with our celebration. So place an order of 180 Australian dollars online during celebration and you can get the paper and the stamp set absolutely free. And the paper is what I'm going to be featuring today. It's absolutely lovely. So we've got this one here that's got the blueberries on there. So you've got these beautiful blueberries and the leaves. And I like the way they've done the blueberries in sort of various shades of blue and green. So you've got your green ones that are obviously not ripe yet. You've got your sort of Pacific Point or your blue ones. You've got a couple of shades of blue in there as well. And as I say, they must have reached into my mind and picked out my favourite things, because blues and greens are my favourite colours. So this is the one I've made as a sample. I didn't want to use too much of my that single sheet of paper, so the next one I'm going to feature the strawberries. So this is another example of the paper from that designer series paper, which, as I say, you can get with the stamp set if you spend $180 during celebration. So I suppose the first thing to do is to show you the fold of the card. As I say, it's a double Z. There is a bit of cutting here to do, and I have written down all the instructions, which I will pop in the comments of the video. So please don't, I'm just going to sit down now, so I'll move a little bit further away from the microphone. Please don't get too worried about the measurements. As I say, I will pop them all in the comments for you. I've got them all written down. I'm still a little bit high there, aren't I? You can see my tummy. What do I do? Just move up a little bit more. Oh, forgive the wobbles. So you can see more of my craft area and less of me, which is probably a good thing. There we go. That might be a bit better. There we are. A little bit crooked. I can even that up. Okay, so that's better. So we have this one, as I say, I'm going to feature the different paper, the strawberry paper. The colours in the paper are Poppy Parade. There's a little bit of Flirty Flamingo in there, plus Garden Green and Granny Apple Green. So the card base I have mostly I've got in Poppy Parade, which is this beautiful red, and the Granny Apple Green. Not a combination I would have normally, before I started card making, put together, but you sort of try new things and you see just how nicely they go together once you try them, especially because they bring out the beautiful colours of that paper. Anyway, so I'll go quickly through the measurements, but as I say, I will write them in the comments because I have written them down right here, so I've got them at hand. So the main card base here in the Poppy Parade is 10 inches by 5 inches, and it's scored at 2.5 and 5 to give that initial Z shape. And then corresponding to that, I have my Granny Apple Green. This one here goes on the main back part of the card there, and it's 1/4 inch smaller, so it's basically 4 3/4 square. And then the piece of designer series paper is 1/8 inch smaller again, so that is 4 5/8 square. So I might actually just start popping our card together, and then I can get rid of some of these pieces of cardstock and not have them floating around and getting lost. So you're just going to layer up this first, the card base. And basically, I mean, if you've made Z fold cards, this first base here is basically a single Z fold card already done. So you could stop there if you wanted to. But we won't stop there. Why stop with one Z when you can have two? You can see the back of this particular sheet of designer series paper has the little yellow sort of teardrop shapes that are actually representing the pips or the pits of the strawberries, which is really quite nice, like that one. I'll pop that way. I am actually going to show that on this side here, just sort of to mix it up a little bit. So that's there. Thanks everyone who's joining. I can see a few names. Jane, hello Jane, nice to see you. Jenny and Sue and Pam and Barbara, and hey Sally, you caught me. Okay, so we're going to layer up these other faces as well. So I've got Granny Apple Green layers, which are 2 1/4 wide by the same width, depth as this Poppy Parade one, so 4 3/4 long by 2 1/4 wide. Just pop those on as well. As I say, we'll get this done first and then we'll have half of our paper dealt with and I won't have to worry. So this central panel, I'm actually going to flip our paper over and I'm going to feature the back side. Here we are, just to break up not that you want to break it up too much, but just to add a little bit of interest, a little bit different. So there. And this one, our front one, I'm just going to pop it with the strawberries facing up. So this paper is absolutely wonderful. I think I'm going to use my packet quite quickly because I absolutely adore it. I have actually sent a query through to see whether we can buy it separately because it comes with the stamp set as a freebie. It would be great if we could buy it separately, because I know I'm going to use more than one packet and I really don't want more than one stamp set. Generally can't use more than one stamp set no matter how hard I try. So I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas, for those of us who celebrate it. Don't like to assume too much these days. So had a relaxing few days anyway, regardless of how you spent your time. I know we did. Large family gatherings that promised we wouldn't do it large again this year, and guess what, we did it large. Just can't help it in my family. So there we have our initial Z. As I say, generally you can stop there. That's a Z fold card all by itself, but we're going to take it a little bit further and add the second fold there. So we've got those out of the way. Let's put that to the side. This is our little inset. So our little inset is 7.5 inches and it's scored at 2.5 and 5, and it's 3 1/4 high. So that's going to go, and that's just going to sit just nestled in the centre of our big Z there, so that it opens when the other Z opens like that. So that's That's our double Z there. Good morning. Oh, Faye, good morning. And Pammy, hi. And Kathy, good morning, Kathy. Nice to see you. Excuse me, I've got a slightly dry throat. Got a couple of people with head colds in my family at the moment, and even though Tassie, we're in the fortunate touchwood position that we have no virus at the moment, every time someone coughs or sneezes, I go into sort of like, you know, you do the mental arithmetic and sort of think, oh my goodness, what do I do? But yeah, hopefully, thankfully, I think they're probably just head colds, but we're keeping an eye on them anyway. So thinking of everybody in areas where you're a little bit more worried by it than we are here in lucky little Tassie. Okay, so as I say, I've got my little Z here. I've got pieces again of Granny Apple Green, and these are 2 1/4 by 3 inches deep, and I've got 3 of them. So I'm just going to layer that up like that. Now I was going to put some ribbon around the top one, but we'll just pop these other 2 on first. So I've got 2 pieces of Whisper White to go on the first face, I suppose, the first face and the last face for my sentiment and my decorating. And this central one, I'm just going to pop the designer series paper on again, just to mimic what we did in the first half. I hope the light's all right. We've actually got some storms coming through at the moment. We had a lovely day yesterday and it was quite warm, but we've got the storms coming through now, which usually happens in Hobart. We have a lovely day and then we get storms or thunder or both. So I'll pop the paper on there. Like that. Okay, so this one, as I said, I was going to use some ribbon, and I had a look through all my ribbon, all the ribbon I have accumulated over the time. I do not have a ribbon that matches Granny Apple Green, or a current ribbon that matches Granny Apple Green or Poppy Parade, or any of the colours that are featured in this designer series paper. But I do have 2 options, and you can help me decide which one I use. I've got this very ancient Granny Apple Green ribbon, and anyone who's been doing Stampin' Up for a while will recognise this one. It came in a set of 5, I think it was, a celebration about 3 years ago, and they sold this one and it was so popular. I think I've still only got a tiny bit left, and this green is one of them. So anyone who remembers this one, pop your hands up if you've still got some of that squirreled away. And the only option they have in a current product is this this ribbon here, which is part of the Flowers for All Seasons. Yes, Flowers for All Seasons combo pack, and it's actually features Just Jade. So you're going to have to help me, guys. Which one will we go with? Will we go the Just Jade, or will we stick with the Granny Apple? I'm thinking the Granny Apple Green goes better than the Just Jade. It's just slightly different, a little bit too different. So I'll wait for a few minutes, but I think we'll go the retired Granny Apple Green. Yeah, I think so. You guys say what you think. I'm not quite ready for it yet, so we've got some time to vote. Although I see some votes for Granny Apple Green coming through as we speak. Okay, so this little front panel here is going to be, so if you imagine our card when we've got it together, it's going to be a little bit like that. And this one here on the front is our focus panel that we're going to decorate with our beautiful strawberries. So I'll pop all that aside. I'll keep this one, pop that aside. So what we're going to do is actually feature the Sweet Strawberry bundle with the punch. Now this is a great little set for beginners because you don't have to worry about die cutting or fussy cutting. You've got the punch that cuts out the major images from the stamp set. And the best thing to do when you're using these composite punches is to use your stamping platform, or in this case I'm using my Stamparatus. So what I've actually done, and you've probably seen this done before, I've taken a piece of cardstock, just any colour, and I've punched the images out of the cardstock. So there you can see just straight punched into that, and I've secured that in my Stamparatus with my my mega amazing magnets. And they are mega amazing. They're absolutely the tightest magnets you've ever seen in your life. And then you position, I'll take this one off and show you, you position your stamps in the gaps created by the punch, and you position that on your Stamparatus like that. So then when you actually stamp it, you get them in place, so that when it comes time to feed it through your punch, everything will punch in the right positions. Unfortunately, if you don't do that, you'll end up with lots of wasted pieces of paper. You might punch out the strawberry, but you'll get lots of wasted little flowers and leaves and sprigs as well. So anyway, that's just a way I know how to do it. So what I'll do now is, now that I've got my stamps in the right positions, I can take, no, hang on, what am I doing? Yes, I can bring in my cardstock. This is the white cardstock I'm going to be using. I can then ink up my stamps over here. So you can use lots of the platforms you buy will let you do this, but obviously I think the Stamparatus is the best way of doing it. And then stamp that down. There we are. So when it comes to bringing our punch back in, we can punch exactly the shapes that we want with no waste. So we've got our little flower, we've got our strawberry, we've got our little flower, we've got a strawberry leaf, and we've got the strawberry sort of stalk there. And I'm going to do 2 of those. Bring back my paper, ink up my stamps. There are a few composite punches that Stampin' Up have released recently. There was a snowman one. I don't know if anyone, and various other builders, cake builders and things like that you would have had to do this with as well. The snowman one comes to mind because I just used it the other day in a class. Sue asks how the new table's going. Oh, Sue, check this out. I'm not wobbling at all. It's so good. He's actually told me that it's sealed, so I can actually use it direct, but I'm a little bit scared at the moment. I just don't want to stain it with ink and stuff like that, so that's why I've still got my mat in place. I don't want to stain it with ink and stuff like that. And I've just dropped a little strawberry stem on the floor. This will be a true sign. I'm going to go and pick it up. If I bump the table like I did last time. Here we go. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so now what we can do is get the individual colours and stamp our little images. So the set does, you could use your favourite markers or blends or textures or pencils for this, but the set does actually come with the infill stamps already, so I might do that. Because you'll see in a minute, these are actually really lovely two-tone sort of stamps, or what do they call it? Dimensional stamps, in a way that they sort of introduce, without too much worry, they introduce a sort of a shading effect with just one stamp. So here's our cute little strawberry. Just put in where I think, and you'll see in a second what I mean. You can see how our little strawberry sort of got some shading and some light all in the one stamp, which is really lovely. It means we can be artistic without actually being artistic. We'll do the second one. There we are. So he's got the light and the dark as well. the leaf that was here, the bigger leaf, I'm going to do in Granny Apple Green. Find the infill stamp. This is a really lovely set. I knew I wanted it as soon as I saw the new catalogue, and thankfully as a demonstrator we get to order these things a little bit early, which was really nice. But as I say, as customers, you can get your hands on this one and the paper from the 5th of January. Or if you'd like to join before the 5th of January, you can put it in your starter kit. There you go, a bit of a plug for joining as well. The strawberry sprigs, I'm going to use something a little bit darker. I'm going to use garden green, just to sort of differentiate it a little bit from the bigger leaf. I may regret it. I'm actually just making this up as I go along here. I hadn't actually quite got this far. I knew what I was going to do with the Z. I knew what I'd done with the blueberries, but I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with the strawberries. So we are playing it by ear a little bit here. Here we are. Bit of ink on me, as usual. And then the little flower, this little cute flower, is here. It's got an infill stamp as well. This little one here, I'm going to do that in Flirty Flamingo. And then I want to show you something that's so cool. There's a bigger flower in here, and I only just realised that it was familiar for a reason. So just this little one in Flirty Flamingo. Although I suppose strawberry flowers are actually white. I should leave it white, shouldn't I? Anyway, Flirty Flamingo it is. Might leave the other ones white. Okay, so I'm going to do the big flower as well, and I'll show you what's cool about it. So there's the big flower out of the stamp set. Just going to stamp him in black. Two of them, and you guys, anyone who's a demonstrator already probably worked this out, but I've only just worked it out, that the little cute small blossom punch that is in the current catalogue actually fits this little blossom perfectly. So you don't even have to fussy cut this one, because we have a punch that fits it, and that's dropped on the floor as well. I obviously have a problem with gravity today. There we go, that's better. And I'll just pick the one up off the floor. Oh, God. Hey, oh, Lord. At least I'm getting my exercise today, going up and down. So we've got those two little flowers there, and I don't think I can bring myself to leave them white. So I might actually use another colour from the paper. Let's have a look. What colour will we use? Cherry Cobbler's a little bit dark. Daffodil Delight. Let's do them yellow. Let's find my Daffodil Delight. Actually, I might just colour them. My blends are closer. Yep, my blends are closer than my inks. So I'll just colour these in blends. Just in light Daffodil Delight. There we are. And thanks for everyone who's joining. I'm seeing some new names drop on there. Oh, Kerry, hello. And Elizabeth, hello my friend. And Noreen and Susan. Hey Susan. And Anne. Thanks for joining me, guys. There we go. So I've just got those two in my light Daffodil Delight blend. And I think that's all I'm going to need. I've only got a very small area to decorate. So I think we've probably got enough. Excuse me. Yeah, I've got somebody's cough, haven't I? Okay, so this one, as we mentioned before, just a reminder, this little panel's going to sit on the front there like that, and on display like that. So we'll add our ribbon first, because you guys know me, I'm always forgetting my ribbon. So I'll just get some double-sided tape. After we had our vote, I should at least use it. Just some double-sided tape on the back just to hold it firm. And I'm even going to do, I'm feeling so good today about these products, I'm even going to do a bow. Well, that's the plan at the moment. So I'm going to have the sentiment coming off towards the left onto the card. So I'm going to put my bow over this side, at least that's the plan. Let's see how we go. Pop it on there. It's going to stick to my mat slightly, but that's all right. Just line it up with my grid. And then pop that on there. And then that might just leave me enough for my little bow. As I say, this is a retired, people who are just joining on, this is actually a retired ribbon. I said to the guys who were on before, I don't actually have a Granny Apple Green ribbon to bless myself with at the moment, so we've gone a retired old favourite. Move this way a bit. I just want a really tiny little bow, and that's all I've got. There we are. There we are, that's fine. As far as bows go, that's pretty good for me. There we are. There we are. So that has stuck there only slightly, but that's okay. So we'll bring that off there. So now I'm going to arrange my, I might actually pop this on now that I've got my bow on there. I'll pop it onto the little Z, just with some extra glue. Just moved over to the left a little bit, haven't I? Just popping that on there. Just like that. Isn't that sweet? I quite like those colours. That's really, really nice. That's really lovely. Pleased with that. Okay, so let's bring in our, I may actually, yep, I'm going to attach it now. So this bit is a little bit tricky because you need your two sort of Zs to line up with each other. So you're sort of best to have a little bit of a sample fold first, position it the way you think you like it, and then glue the bottom first and then align the top. So that's where I want it in the bottom. So I'm just going to add some glue to that back half and pop it back down. Wiggle it around. Thankfully to our glue we can move it till we're happy with it. Top and bottom, straight. There we are, sort of straight anyway. And then closing that over, I'm going to add some glue to the left hand half of the back, just on that side. There we are. Give that a couple of seconds to hold. And we've got that. There's our Z. See, when it stands up, it looks like that. Isn't that just beautiful? Those colours. I'm not usually a colour person, but I think that's lovely. Okay, so let's put our strawberries on, and the reason I wanted that on first because I think I've got so much here that I'm actually going to overlap a little bit with my strawberries and everything. So I'm going to actually go over the edge, so I needed to know how much edge I've actually got. So as I say, this is, I haven't actually made this card except for in my head. So let's see how it turns out. With the strawberries anyway. put them around and see what we think. So as I say, the sentiment's going to be coming in that way. So we probably don't, I might keep my little flowers on top of my sentiment. Got far too much stuff here, I think. Might put the strawberries on first and then I can build everything else around it. So I'm going to attach the little stalks just with a tiny touch of glue on those bottom two leaves. Oh, tiny touch of glue, she says. And pop it on the top of our strawberry, just like where it would be in nature, just pointing slightly in the right direction. Here we are. And our other one. Just like that. Aren't they the cutest things? And they're nice, good, big strawberries too. They're not tiny little fiddly ones. They're actually a good size. You just want to chew them, chomp into them at the supermarket. So I might pop them up on a dimensional. I'll find one. Just going to use one dimensional each. You could probably put a couple, but just for the video, I'll just use one. There we are, so cute. And I've got these couple of leaves. I might do the sentiment, and the rest of these can pop in around the sentiment. Okay, so as I said, the sentiment, I've said it many times, the sentiment's going to come over from the left-hand side there like that. This piece of paper is the hard cardstock's a little bit large, but I'll trim it down once I've stamped it. Okay, so let's stamp the sentiment. It's got some nice sentiments in this one. If I can find it, it's lost. Okay, so we have thank you, hello there, just for you, that's so sweet of you, and happy birthday, you sweet thing. Don't you love that? I might make this a thank you card. So we'll get the thank you out. And the font is really nice too. It's sort of modern looking without being too out over the top. Just a nice script. Okay. Here we are. Now I am going to trim this down, so I'll line it up with one end and the bottom, and then I'll know how much I've got to trim down. Okay, so that's just a nice little thank you there. Pop that on our ribbon, just like that. And I might use dimensionals for that as well. There we are, so that's really nice. And now I can bring in all our little bits. I know what space I've got to play with. I'll pop one of our little flowers there. Yeah, that looks good. And I might put another one down here. And then the leaves. Look at that, it's so bright. It's just like, it's like a summer's day. The leaves, I really need something in there, don't I? Maybe the leaves could go, ooh. Maybe one of the flowers could go in there. Yes, put one of the flowers in there and then another one down here. So pop You can just go on some glue. There. And this one can go on a dimensional, just a little one. Just down there. And then our leaves can maybe come in there. That's good. Sorry, as I say, I'm making this one up as I go along today. You roughly knew what I wanted to do. How about that? You guys might need to help me positioning this leaf. Do I need the leaf? Or do I just leave it? Put some dimensionals, some rhinestones on. Maybe the leaf could go down here. Oh no, I knew what I wanted to do there. I'm just going to leave those because I don't think I need them at the moment. I'll see how I go. Maybe I'll get inspired as I look at it more. Anyway, I'll leave those off for the moment, and as I say, I might get inspired. So there's the front done. We'll let a nice little thank you. On the inside here, I was going to do this other little stamp, which is really cute. It's actually the leaves and flowers of the strawberries before they fruit up. So this is really, really quite cute. I was going to just pop that on there, just really pale, and then put another sentiment over the top of it. So I thought I'd probably do that in stamped off green, I think. No, I think I'll do it in green. So the stamped off granny apple green. And then pop the other sentiment on top in black. So I'm going to stamp this off. Just off camera there, and pop it in here. Probably could be a little bit lighter. It's still quite dark, isn't it? But that's all right. Probably could have gone stamped off again. That's what trouble you have when you make things up as you go along. And I would go with thank you. Happy birthday, no. Just for you. Oh, that was sweet of you. There you go. Perfect. Like it was built for it, which it probably was. So I'll do this in black, just over the top of our little buds there. There we are. Okay, isn't that lovely? That's just so sweet. So sweet of you. There we go. Now, I was thinking I could put these, she says, not wanting to waste anything, pop them here. Yeah, I like that. What do you reckon? Not wanting to waste anything. We'll pop those there. How about that? That's good. So I won't put them on dimensionals because I think we've got enough dimension happening already, and this won't close if I do too much more sort of volume. So we'll just pop those. And that's good because the yellow is the same yellow as is in these little pips, or these little teardrops, so that the yellow from our flowers fits quite well. There you go. It was like I actually even planned it, which I didn't. There we go. There we are. So that's our Z's completely decorated. There we are. I won't close that up too much till they dry. But that's our Z fold card with our strawberries. Isn't that wonderful? might actually pop some bling on. I reckon actually those strawberries, we could get our, and you probably won't see it, but if I get my wink of Stella, I reckon those strawberries could do with some shine. Oh yes. So I've just actually put the wink of Stella where the darker parts of the strawberry are. There. And left the light part, because the wink of Stella does make your ink run a little bit, and I didn't want to lose the light part of our strawberry. So that's actually just given it a little bit of glimmer there, which is really, really good. And some bling. Let's do some bling. There's my tool. Okay, so these are just basic rhinestones. I've got a couple of big ones left. I wonder if I pop them. No, that's a bit obvious. Don't want to be obvious. It's not quite fold flat, this design. It's a bit tricky. Sorry if you can see the top of my head there, guys. A little bit of bling, not too much. I think we've got enough happening on there. It's quite busy with ribbons and bling and wink of Stella and strawberries. Okay, so that is the end of that card. I don't know where you would write on that. You might have to put a panel on the back so you can actually write a personal message, because that's got quite a bit going on there, unless you put very, very small lettering down in here. But hey, I'll let you guys worry about the logistics of actually giving this card away. So there it is. That's our Z fold card with the I get them both mixed up, the sweet strawberry stamp set and the punch, which, as I say, is awesome and available to customers on the 5th of January. And we'll bring in our original blueberry one, which I think has to be my favourite, which uses the Celebration stamp set, which is the Celebration freebie, which is Berry Blessings there. So there's a bit going on in this screen, isn't there? I'll just move everything away. So there we are. That's what I wanted to show you today, those two cards. As I say, the Sweet Strawberry Bundle is available to customers on the 5th of January through to the 28th of... no, that's in the catalogue. So that's from January through to July, the Sweet Strawberry. And the Berry Blessings is a Celebration stamp set, which is available from the 5th of January through to the 28th of February, just to confuse matters a little bit. But anyway, so, and the paper is also a Celebration giveaway as well. So if you like those, please get in contact with me and ask how you can get hold of them if I've completely confused you with dates there. And as I say, I will put the measurements for both cards into the comments as soon as I upload the video. So thanks for joining me. Have a great Sunday, have a great week, and New Year's coming up for everyone as well. And I will talk to you all shortly or very soon. Okay, thanks guys.